Hello friends, in the last class we were discussing photoelectric effect. We defined the process of photoelectric effect, that is the emission of electrons when light falls on certain metals, and we discussed an experimental arrangement to study the photoelectric effect. So through this experimental arrangement, certain observations were made. For example, it was found that photoelectric current depends on four factors, which are frequency, intensity, the potential difference, and the nature of the material. Then certain other observations were there is a threshold frequency called nu0, and if the incident radiation is having a frequency lesser than the threshold frequency, then the photoelectric effect is not seen. Then another observation was that kinetic energy depends on frequency of the incident radiation. Kinetic energy of the emitted electrons depends on frequency of the incident radiation and not on intensity. And the stopping potential depends on the frequency of the incident radiation and not on intensity. Then the photocurrent depends on the intensity of the incident radiation and not on frequency. And finally, there is no time lag for photoelectron emission. So these are the observations that was made in the photoelectric experiment, photoelectric emission experiment. Now the classical theory, which assumes light to be waves, could not account for all these observations, could not explain the reason for all these observations. So it could be successfully explained by Albert Einstein, who used the quantum principles developed by Planck in order to account for the photoelectric effect. Einstein got Nobel Prize for this explanation on photoelectric effect. So in this class, we will be discussing Einstein's explanation of photoelectric effect. So in order to explain the photoelectric effect, Einstein suggested that a light beam cannot be considered as a wave supplying energy to a substance. So until then, the light was treated as a wave, classically a wave, but instead of the wave assumption of the light behaves as consisting of mutually independent energy quanta or corpuscles of magnitude h nu moving with the velocity of light. So instead of this wave assumption, the light is to be considered to be consisting of small wave packets, small corpuscles, and the energy of each of these quanta of light is h nu. If nu is the frequency of this light, then h nu is the energy of each of these quantum particles, the quantum particle of light. So according to this theory, the light is considered to be composed of small particles of zero mass called photons. And the energy of each of the photon is h nu, if nu is the frequency, and this is continuously emitted by a light source. So there is actually two theories that are existing to explain the properties of light, which is the wave theory, which considers light as a wave, and the second theory, the quantum theory, considers light is composed of discrete particles called quanta, corpuscles, or photons. Its energy is h nu. So when a photon is incident on a suitable surface, suppose a photon is getting incident on a metal, then the photon will transfer its entire energy, h nu energy, to the electrons in the metal. For example, a single electron will be absorbing all the energy, h nu energy, from the photon. And this process takes no time lag. As soon as the photon hits the metal surface, the electron will be absorbing the energy from the photon and getting liberated. So in this process, the total energy of the photon, which is h nu, is used in used in two processes. So the electrons, as we know, the electrons are loosely bound to the atoms of the metal. So in order to liberate the electron from the metal, some amount of energy is to be supplied. So that energy is called work function phi 0. So phi 0 is the work function, and it is the energy required to liberate or move an electron from a binding atom. So if an extra energy is available with the photon, for example, if the incident energy of the photon h nu is greater than the phi 0, then after liberating the electron, a little bit more energy is remaining, and that energy will be transferred as the kinetic energy of the photons. Sorry, the kinetic energy of the electron. So what is happening here? The photon coming with h nu energy is hitting on the electron, liberating the electron. So in order to liberate the electron from the binding atoms, a work function has to be supplied. The remaining energy will be given as the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. So how can we represent this equation? Suppose the incident photon has an energy h nu. It is given into two processes. One is to liberate the electron, that is the work function, and the rest of the energy is given to the kinetic energy of the electron, which is half mv square. So what are the terms here? H nu is the energy of incident photon, where nu is the frequency. Nu is the frequency of the photon. So we know if nu is the frequency, then h nu is the energy. Phi 0, as defined earlier, is the work function. M is the mass of the electron. Mass of the photon is 0. Since it is the kinetic energy of electron, m is the mass of electron, and v is the velocity of electron. Velocity of the electron. So this is the balancing equation considering the assumptions that we have made, and this equation is the Einstein's photoelectric equation. This is the Einstein's famous photoelectric equation. So this is a very simple equation if you consider the meaning. The energy of the photon is given to the energy of the electron. The energy of the photon is used to liberate the electron and give some kinetic energy to the electron. And as we see here, see from this equation, what will happen if the incident photon is not able to give as much energy as the work function? Suppose the incident photon has a lesser energy, then it will not be able to supply the required work function, and hence no electron will be emitted. So only those electrons which are given an energy more than the work function will leave the surface, and the work function depends on the nature of the emitting surface. Different material have different work function. So those electrons which are able to get more than the work function energy will be able to get liberated from the metal surface. So if I modify the Einstein's equation, we can rewrite what will be the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons from the Einstein's equation. Half mv square is h nu minus phi 0. So as you can see here, the phi 0 is a constant and a property of the material. Here the variables are the energy of the incident photon and the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. So what will happen if you increase the frequency of the incident radiation? Similarly, we will see an increase in the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. So this was one of the assumptions that we got, one of the observations that was made in the photoelectric effect experiment. We have seen that kinetic energy depends on frequency and not on intensity. So this equation clearly accounts for the relation between kinetic energy and frequency of the incident light. So as you can see in this equation, so what will happen if kinetic energy of the emitted electron is 0? So what will happen if we supply just the sufficient frequency or just the sufficient energy of the photon that is able to liberate the electron from the metal? So there should be some threshold frequency called nu 0. If we supply that h nu 0, if an electron having the threshold frequency nu 0 is providing an energy h nu 0, then it will have just the work function energy. So for example, here we have plenty of metals plenty of electrons in the metals, and sometimes the incident photon will be falling onto the metal and supplying an energy. And as we have seen in the previous equation, this energy will be used as work function as well as the kinetic energy. The h nu energy is used as work function, is applied to liberate the electron and provide kinetic energy to the electron. So there will be a threshold frequency given by h nu 0, which will be just able to liberate the electron alone, and the kinetic energy in that case will be 0. So this is the concept of threshold energy, threshold frequency defined by nu 0, and if nu 0 is the frequency equivalent to the work function, then if the frequency of the incident radiation nu is lesser than nu 0, what will happen? Then such a photon will not be able to even liberate the electron. So we have seen the energy of the incident radiation h nu is necessary for liberating the electron as well as for providing kinetic energy. The first necessity is to liberate the electron. The minimum energy required in that case is h nu 0. So if the energy h nu of the incident radiation is lesser than h nu 0, or the frequency of the incident radiation nu is lesser than nu 0, then under this condition no electron will be emitted. What is the reason? Because the incident photon is not able to supply the sufficient energy to liberate the electron. So we have accounted for the second observation, one of the observations that was made, which is the concept of threshold frequency. So Einstein's explanation gave a very good reason for the existence of threshold frequency, and as well as we have also seen the relation between kinetic energy and frequency from the Einstein's equation. They are directly related from the Einstein's equation. Now moving on to the third observation that we made. We said that the stopping potential, in the third assumption, the third observation, we said that the stopping potential is directly related to the frequency. So let us explain why is it so based on the Einstein's equation. So what is stopping potential? Stopping voltage refers to the voltage required to stop the photoelectron having the maximum kinetic energy. So if voltage is Vc, what is its equivalent energy? The charge into the potential will give you the potential energy. So if you are supplying a Vc potential, that means the electron will have a stopping energy of E into Vc, and this should be able to stop the kinetic energy, which is half mv square, the maximum kinetic energy. So when this happens, the electrons will not be able to move because they have zero kinetic energy, and that is the stopping potential. So according to the Einstein's theory, we have defined for half mv square, we have defined h nu minus phi 0, or for phi 0 we defined a nu term called threshold frequency, which is h nu 0. So we have a new equation based on the Einstein's equation. We have just substituted EVC equal to half mv square, which is the definition for the stopping voltage. So this equation shows that the stopping voltage EVC is directly proportional to the frequency. If the frequency of the incident radiation is high, then the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons will be high, and hence the stopping voltage required to stop them will also be high. So stopping voltage Vc and frequency are directly related. Similarly, we have also seen that kinetic energy and frequency are directly related. In both these cases, intensity of the incident radiation plays no role. Intensity is not determining factor of the kinetic energy of the electron or the stopping potential. Now let us move on and explain the fourth observation that was made, which is the photocurrent and the intensity. So we saw that in the photoelectric effect experiment, it was observed that the photocurrent depends on the intensity. So let us see how that happens. So what is intensity according to this quantum principles? Intensity is the number of photons emitted per second, or number of photons reaching per second. So if intensity of the light is large, then a large number of photons will be hitting onto the electron, hitting onto the metal surface. Intensity is low means number of photons is lesser. So we know if each of these photons have sufficient frequency greater than the threshold frequency, then each photon is capable of releasing an electron from the metal. So if this is the metal surface, then if intensity is larger, a large number of photons will be hitting onto the metal surface, liberating the electrons. So if intensity is greater, more number of photons will be hitting and more number of electrons will be released, and more number of electrons means more photocurrent. So as we have seen, any increase in the intensity of light will increase the number of photons falling on the photosensitive material, and since one photon ejects one electron, the number of electrons emitted per second, that is the photocurrent, will be proportional to the intensity of the incident radiation. And the increase in the intensity does not contribute anything towards increase in the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons. Each of these photons have h nu energy, nothing more, nothing less. And each of this photon will be releasing an electron. And the number of photon increasing means number of electrons emitted will be increased, and the kinetic energy of the electrons will not be affected, because the kinetic energy is depending on h nu alone, not on the number of photons incident on the metal surface. So this accounts for the fourth observation of the photoelectric experiment, that is the photocurrent depends on the intensity and does not depend on the frequency of the incident radiation. And what was the fifth observation? The fifth observation was that the photoelectric effect is instantaneous. There is no time lag between the hitting of this light onto the metal surface and the ejection of electrons. So why does this happen? The corpuscular behavior of the radiation demands a non-measurable time lag between the incidence of the radiation and the emission of the electrons. So this, according to this corpuscular theory, the entire energy is concentrated on this small particle, not as a wave. If we assume the wave theory, the energy is dispersed along the complete dimension of the wave. So if a wave is reaching onto an electron, a lot of time is required for exchanging energy, supplying energy to the electron. But in the corpuscular theory, we assume small packets of energy called quanta or the photons, and they will instantaneously transfer energy to the electrons. So the electrons will be emitted at the time of hitting of these photons onto the metal surface. So that is the fifth observation that was made, that is no time lag between emission of electrons and the hitting of photons onto the surface. So this, as we have seen in this explanation, the Einstein's photoelectric equation is able to account for all the observations that were made. So we have seen the threshold frequency. So from the Einstein's equation, it is clear that if h nu 0 equal to phi 0, there is this work function and the minimum energy of the photon should be equal to the work function. If the energy of the photon is below work function, then that photon cannot liberate the electron. Then the kinetic energy depends on the frequency. Then the stopping potential depends on the frequency, and the number of photoelectrons depends on intensity. And finally, there is no time lag for photoelectron emission. So let me also explain one of the graphs. So we have written the Einstein's equation in the form half mv square equal to h nu minus h nu 0 or h nu minus phi 0. So if you plot this curve along the y-axis, if you plot the kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy, and along the x-axis if you plot nu, then as indicated in this figure, this will be a straight line, because as we have seen, half mv square equal to h nu minus h nu 0 is the equation, and this is the equation of a straight line. Similarly, what will be the x-intercept of this graph? So x-intercept is obtained when putting y equal to 0, right? So if kinetic energy is equal to 0, when the y-axis is 0, where will be the x-intercept? So under this condition, we have h nu equal to h nu 0 or nu equal to nu 0. So the x-intercept of this graph will be at the cutoff frequency or the threshold frequency, which is nu 0. The graph will be a straight line since the kinetic energy is linearly depending on the incident frequency, the frequency of the incident radiation. So kinetic energy is directly proportional to the frequency. So the graph will be a straight line, and the x-intercept of the graph is at the threshold frequency or the cutoff frequency. So we have seen this Einstein's explanation beautifully explains the photoelectric effect and all the experimental observations that was made in the photoelectric effect. And in fact, Einstein introduced the idea of corpuscular behavior of radiation, that is the idea of photon, and this was a milestone in the history of the quantum mechanics. So I hope this portion is clear for you. Thank you.